Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really fascinating topic from the source material, Challenge Conquering Prayers. We're going to answer a highly practical question. Just how effective is prayer in a believer's daily life? We'll explore how this structured morning routine isn't just some simple ritual to check off a list, but rather, according to the text, a profoundly effective psychological and spiritual tool for navigating our chaotic modern world. We're going to look at the scriptural foundations, the conscious mindset shifts, and exactly why this daily practice yields such high functional success against everyday stress. So let's dive right into the foundation of this effectiveness. The core thesis here, which the source draws straight from Lamentations, is this incredible concept of a merciful brand new beginning. You know that feeling when yesterday was just an exhausting mess? The closed doors, the mistakes? Well, the text argues that for the believer, those simply don't roll over. They start their day with an absolute spiritual reset. It's a really powerful, functional way to just leave all that heavy baggage firmly in the past. Now, the source makes it clear that this isn't just about mumbling a few words before you've had your morning coffee. Psalm 5:3 frames it as an intentional, expectant positioning. By establishing this line of communication right out of the gate, believers are proactively setting the tone for their entire day. They're basically securing a solid foundation of support before any external stress or chaos even has the chance to knock on the door. And this timeline, it's absolutely crucial. Think about how incredibly easy it is to wake up and immediately let a demanding boss, an avalanche of emails, or, doom scrolling the morning news completely dictate your mood. By putting step 1, seeking spiritual presence, firmly ahead of step 2, the author suggests the believer is essentially putting on armor. They are locking in their internal peace before the outside world gets to have a say. What makes this framework so universally relatable and effective is its deep empathy. The text openly acknowledges these quiet, invisible struggles we all carry around, things like chronic stress, loneliness, discouragement, and that nagging fear of failure. By validating this heavy human weight first, rather than just ignoring it, the spiritual solution that the source introduces becomes incredibly grounded and real. To really normalize these struggles, the text points out something super interesting. Even highly faithful biblical figures faced massive anxiety-inducing trials. I mean, you've got Joseph facing deep betrayal and Daniel dealing with, literal lions. It proves a crucial point for the believer's mindset. Daily obstacles aren't a sign of personal failure, and they certainly aren't a lack of faith. They're just part of the human experience. The message here is that God's character remains constant even when circumstances are totally turbulent. Moving right along, the text transitions into part 1, seeking presence and protection. Drawing from Psalm 91, the author explains how this prayer acts as almost a tactical perimeter. It's a highly specific request for a spiritual refuge and fortress around a believer's family, home, and workplace against everyday dangers. Think about it. It's the profound difference between stepping out your front door with a lingering sense of dread versus stepping out with a rock-solid sense of divine confidence. Which brings us to the next phase outlined in the source, part 2, praying for courage. So the text anchors this idea perfectly in Joshua 1:9. Whether someone is starting a scary new job, facing financial instability, or just carrying an unseen emotional burden, this promise flips the script. Believers aren't just commanded to muster up courage in total isolation. The source argues they can be bold precisely because they are accompanied into the unknown. And here is the fascinating psychological and spiritual mechanism at play. It's a direct, active exchange. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a profound trade-in program. The believer hands over their fear, anxiety, and confusion, and in return, receives courage, peace, and wisdom. This conscious trading of burdens is highlighted as a cornerstone of why this routine is just so highly effective at stabilizing a person's day. Building on that, the explainer moves to part 3, praying for wisdom and strength. Let's be totally honest here. So many of us are just plain tired. When believers are emotionally tapped out or just ready to throw in the towel, the text points to Isaiah 41:10. It serves as this vital reminder that they don't face the daily grind alone. It actively lifts the immense pressure off the individual, proving you don't have to somehow generate all your own resilience from scratch. Just like that exchange for courage we talked about earlier, the source shows us another highly functional trade happening here. It's substituting human exhaustion, weakness, and discouragement for divine strength, hope, and faith. This continuous, active process of surrendering the negative to receive the positive really transforms this morning habit from a mere ritual into a powerful endurance tool.
And that leads us to the climax of the source material, Part 4, Redefining True Victory.
This is where the text radically redefines success, and it's a real game changer. Victory is beautifully and counterintuitively framed here. It is not some utopian life that is perfectly free of problems or friction, because let's face it, that doesn't exist. Instead, true victory is defined as the act of remaining steadfast and faithful while walking through those storms. You don't have to wait for the storm to pass to be victorious. Enduring it with grace is the victory itself.
Practically speaking, the author notes this means making really hard choices in real time. It's deliberately choosing forgiveness over bitterness or love over anger when a situation goes completely sideways. It's all about maintaining spiritual composure and making active, conscious choices when every human instinct is screaming at you to just react negatively.
But how does anyone maintain that level of grace under fire? Well, the author uses Philippians 4:13 to answer that. It illustrates that the ability to persevere and choose love over anger comes from tapping into an external, infinite source of strength, rather than just relying on our own finite willpower. That reliance, according to the text, is the absolute secret to a believer's effectiveness in challenging times. When you combine all these elements, the daily reset, the tactical protection, and those powerful psychological exchanges, you get what the author calls the challenge-conquering mindset. This whole shebang equips believers to guard their thoughts, respond to life's storms with unexpected grace, and truly see every obstacle not as a roadblock, but as a direct opportunity to trust more deeply. So, we'll wrap up this explainer with the text's final empowering question to you. How will you use structured moments of morning reflection to let today's intense challenges become tomorrow's powerful testimonies? It's truly amazing just how transformative and highly effective a faith-filled strategic start to the day can be. Thanks so much for exploring these insights with me.